Thank you all very much for coming out for this this very special day. It's been a long time coming. I was having a conversation with Scott Serena, Commodore. We kind of laughed because we had record low temperatures, which I guess that's to be expected in New England, right? And then we had record flooding. Remember, Northern Ave looked like the Charles River, which came down here. We had microbursts that knocked out power here for 9 days, right? And then we had 3 nor'easters in a row, weekend. And then we had, there was felony vandalism that we had to deal with. And then after that, we had the Merrimack Valley, the gas explosions, where there was a statewide ban, so we couldn't get a new hookup. But what else? Is that it? Is that all that happened?
Seems like an easy build.
Yeah, it's a piece of cake. It's a piece of cake. Honestly, though, through all of that, this was a very challenging build for those reasons and no other. And through all of that, all that did was galvanize the resolve of everybody that took part in this project. And for that, I am very, very grateful. There were many opportunities to walk away. There were many opportunities to say, Alex, this is not what we were counting on. Everybody rearranged their schedules. Everybody came together. Nobody charged us any extra more to redo their books or come here on, you know, like all of those things. It really made me proud to be from this community, and you know, when the chips were down, everybody came together even more so, and I think that says a lot about everybody that's here in attendance today. So I just want to thank you and let you know that was you made my life a lot easier. So thank you all very much. Just a little bit about the foundation here. Jared had this brainchild going on 10 years ago. A couple things that we try to do to separate us from other organizations is Paul and Jen were able to, they select the land. You know, they told us where they wanted to live. They sit down with Pittman, with the architect, who did an amazing job. I can't wait to open up the door and let everybody go and see this house. They get to pick out everything inside the house. It's their home. Because it's important for us for it to be a home. You know, they were a big part of everything that happened here, and you know, it's just it's such a special day. It really is. It's such a special day. Again, everybody that took part in this project, we can't thank you enough. Honestly, this is just you know. As Jared always said, I'm going to try to steal as many of his lines as usual.
Take them all.
Yeah, right?
I'll just wave today.
Right? Yeah. You know, everybody tries to say, you know, you built the house, you built the home, and it's like, nah, Jet, I'm pretty sure you didn't set any nails in this house. I know I didn't. No. You know, all we do is, you know, we try to have a platform to let others shine, right? Because, you know, a question that they asked me when they asked me to come on board is, you know, hey, you know, do you support veterans? You know, do you support? It's like, yeah, of course. Of course you support veterans. Everybody supports veterans, right? And then the follow-up question is, well, how? Right? Because just saying it isn't enough, right? So all we try to do is just kind of gather everybody and give them an opportunity to support veterans, which everybody here did and stepped up in a big way. I'd also like to mention the parents of Paul and Jen, if you're here. I'm sure you are. Just there you are.
I can see it.
Talk about a strong family, right? Talk about facing challenges. Paul dealing with his injuries, being down in Walter Reed, commuting back and forth, working full time with the kids, the support that you gave your children, in all of those aspects, just emotional, just the comfort, knowing that their kids would always be taken care of when they were in DC. We call ourselves a family organization, and we hope that this home will alleviate some of your concerns and know that now your kids and your grandkids have a home that's gonna work for them, so hopefully you can rest a little easier now. To start with our introductions, I'm gonna bring up first John Murphy. He's the Chief of Staff and he works for the United Brotherhood of Carpenters, the New England Council of Carpenters. Not only do these projects not get done with them, we have a national partnership with the United Brotherhood of Carpenters. And what they do is amazing. Not only do they contribute to us monetarily, which is the most important thing because that's what we always say.
It takes money to
It
build
takes money to
houses.
build houses, right? Everybody wants to bless us with their awareness, and Jared and I have a favorite line. It's like,
The day we can go into Home Depot and buy lumber with awareness is the day I'll accept your
right,
awareness.
right. I threw 25 grand worth of lumber on the checkout line at Home Depot, and I tried to pay for it with awareness, and they kicked me out.
They sent me a bill.
No, we're kidding. Awareness is great as long as you click that button for the dollar donation afterward, and don't just say, "Look what I did." But honestly, we built. We're on home. I don't know, 18, 19, something like that. The Carpenters Union nationwide has been with us for about 4 or 5 years now. They build all of our homes across the country. They bring the men and women in for the apprenticeship program. They come. They pay them to be there on the job site. It's like on-the-job training. The relationship with the Carpenters Union has really, between that and Home Depot, has really logistically set us up to be able to build anywhere in the country, which is important for us because we don't ever want to dictate where somebody's kids are going to go to school. I can't say enough about the relationship we have with the Carpenters Union. They're also building a home for us right now in Derry, New Hampshire, which will be given away in, 3 or 4 weeks or so, hopefully, fingers crossed. And,
Hi, Thomas.
Oh yeah, there he is, right back there. Hey, buddy. Without further ado, Mr. John Murphy.
Thank you, Alex. And I want to thank Tom Flynn, the Executive Secretary Treasurer of the New England Regional Council, for initiating our involvement in this project and for asking me to get involved and to represent our organization here this morning. To Jen and Paul, congratulations.
Thank you.
And their family, and their beautiful dog. Thank you to Jared, and thank you to Alex for their tireless endeavor that they've embarked upon, and we're appreciative of all their efforts that they came together with our organization. The UBC is somewhat natural, where so many of our members are veterans and have served, and we've have a long history of supporting veterans' causes. I said to Tom on the way down that we get involved in a lot of things, but I'm here to say this morning that none are equate to the joy that something like this brings you. So really want to reach out and say thank you to all of our people that made this happen. I don't think anyone understands, like people in the building trades understand the reward you get from making something out of nothing. 2 years ago, we were out here in the mud, and this whole thing was just a vision and a dream and a lot of hard work on the part of the volunteers from all the trades, all the sponsors, the apprentices, everyone that worked here. Thank you very much. And I'll just say one last thing. God bless the family, and I hope God blesses their every day that they spend in this home. Thank you.
Along next, I know Brian Austin is somewhere around here. He's got a really special picture here for Paul and Jen. I'll let him tell the story. But so Brian basically ran the job for us here. He's the instructor who kept the apprentices in line and had them work so quickly when we had all of those setbacks. Also with the training program, Tom Fisher. To give us the resources and keep the men and women out here. The thing with this project was everybody went above and beyond the scope of work that was originally assigned, you know, and there was, people were doing things out of their element, and nobody complained, and this was really, and we joke about it because we all say, you know, I wear many hats, we all wear many hats, it's all hands on deck. And honestly, that's what this was, and an important, the two most important people with that is Paul Gangemi's here.
Yeah, Paul's back there. He should be up here too.
And Brian Austin.
Where's Paul? Get up here.
Yeah, Paul, without you guys,
Get up here,
you guys kept this thing, moving forward, when it would have been very easy for it to run down the tracks backwards. But Brian's got a great little story. He told me about it. I got emotional on it, and I was like, you got to do this at the ceremony. He was like, come on. I was like, yeah, it's happening.
Here we go. I'll try. Yeah, Paul, you should be up here too. Paul Gangemi, the other instructor who started this project. And then I was brought in June last summer. And one of my apprentices that week wrote a message on a stud, one of the interior partitions. And I didn't really notice it until late fall. 2 days after the ups and downs, when we found the vandalism. I walked onto this job site, and it was devastating. See all that vandalism, all the broken glass. And it was like a punch in the gut. It really was. It was pretty emotional. The Hanson police came right up, did their investigation, so I thank them. And I think it was 2 days later, after the dust settled, John from Gallagher, he's the plumber that was working here, said, hey Brian, come over here and check this out. And it was a message on one of the studs, and I read it, and it was June 7th, the week I started. And that's pretty much got me back on track. So it was pretty cool to see that message. It was from one of our second-year apprentices, and I had a copy of it made, and I'm going to present it to the family here, and I'd like to read it to you. And I'm sure everybody here probably feels the same way as I did when I saw that on the stud. So it says, to our warrior and his clan, thank you for all you have done for our nation. It has been an honor to build this fortress for you all. May many great memories be made in this home, one nation under God. With gratitude, Brianna Fritter. There you go. It was an honor to work on this project. Thank you. Thank you. Alex, great job. Great work.
Next, another man who made this all possible and pulled everybody in this project. I tell you what, we wouldn't be looking at such a beautiful home if this man wasn't at the helm. And Commodore Builders was so instrumental in getting everybody on board, right? That's why we're all here, right? That was Commodore and Joe Albanese were the glue that kept this thing together. With that, Scott Serene, the project manager, who not only did he, every time he called me with a question, he offered like 5 or 6 different solutions. It wasn't like, oh, hey, by the way, figure this out, figure this out. All the homes that we've done, I've never worked as well with a project manager as Scott Serene, and I'm so grateful that I came in with before I can't see it. And I got my heels on too. I still can't see it. But Joey, you got a great man in Scott, and you know, there might be someday Jared and I we'll probably make him an offer, just so you know. But no, you know,
Seems like that, we can't afford them.
Mr. Albanese is a military man. He jumped on this project, no questions asked. He donated, again, so many resources. He did all of this for free, the manpower, bringing everybody in. And again, the scope of work was much larger than anticipated, but it didn't matter. Sometimes you get into these situations where, you know, we understand everybody's got to put a roof over their head and food on the table, and when you're getting donated things, you have to be a little patient on people's timetables and frames, and that was not the case. It was, you would have thought we were paying top dollar for the service that we got from Commodore Builders, and that was a first. This is the best company that we've been associated with, and I can't thank you enough. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Albanese.
Thank you, Alex. Jared, this is the most amazing thing. Paul.
Great to see you.
Welcome home.
Thank you.
What a beautiful day here today. Perfect for such an occasion. I'd like to ask all the military veterans to raise their hand and be recognized. How about that? Thank you for your service. I spent most of my career, my 28-year career, in the Naval Construction Forces. So when I got the call from the Carpenters Union that this was happening, there was no hesitation. I mean, this is such alignment here with what we do and the cause, and what a great cause this is. But everybody that served here on this project has served our country through this project. Think about that. And thank you for all of you. You know, the Carpenters Union, the Allied Trades, Painters and Allied Trades, the plumbers and pipe fitters, Local 12, all the people that you see on this banner to my right that donated their time. This was not just a project, this was a labor of love for a great man. So I just want to say it's our privilege to be here. I'd do it again in a second. I can't imagine that they've got 8 of these going on now.
You heard him say it. You heard him say it. You heard him. I got it on tape.
It's on tape. This is what we do. This is, you know, the construction industry is a great industry. When something like this comes up, we band together, and there were hundreds of people that touched this. So thank you to all of them. The results are right here. My fellow CB, Pete Pittman, was the architect I called, and he did a wonderful job designing this, and all of the people under the leadership of all the companies here bringing it to life. I can't wait to turn the keys over. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Usually by now we're done touring the house, or usually out of here. But,
This is the largest group I've
yeah,
ever seen.
Yeah, right? So,
Speed up, I'm freezing, by the way.
next is our relationship with the Home Depot. The Home Depot Foundation, again, you know, we developed both relationships with the UBC and the Home Depot right around the same time. And we're not able to do what we do without your support. It was your acceptance of our organization that allowed us to have a national reach. And you guys have stood by our side through ups, through downs. You're nothing but supportive. Every time I had to call you and tell you with one of the things that went wrong, you understood. There were no questions asked. You just said, do what you gotta do, Alex. Do what you gotta do. And for me, that meant the world to have your support. You've been by our side, although, well, I like to joke, it took like 18 months of calling Heather before I got a return phone call. But in her defense, they were doing multifamily unit housing, you know, wasn't in their scope of work just yet. But I kept calling. I've been told I'm relentless. Sometimes that works for me, sometimes it works against me. I'm working on it. This time it worked out. But she came all the way up from Atlanta. It's very special. We've become friends now, right? Yeah, you're not even Home Depot, right? Yeah, right. So I've learned a lot from her. She's helped me. She's helped this organization grow. She's always there to help us both professionally, personally. She's been wonderful. She's a dear friend. Heather Pro, please. Come on up.
Thanks, Alex. And it did take 18 months. I mean, you threatened me a couple of times. I called. I can stand up here and say ditto because everything that everybody has said is so true. I mean, this family, you guys are just so amazing, and we can't be more thrilled for you to be standing on your front porch, your new front porch today. And we've been honored to be with you guys step by step by step by step in this process. But I really want to thank Jared, you and Alex and Betty and Amanda for just the love and dedication and tenacity that you have in this program, in this project. And it's so much more than just a project, Jen. Like every time Alex called and said something happened, the first time when any of us got the call, our first question was, how's the family? Are they okay? Let's do what we can do to get them into this home as quickly as possible. Because we need each of you doing something.
I with her, we need heaters.
I know, we need heaters. All right, I'll make this quick. I just want to say this is, like everybody else has said, this has just been such a labor of love, and the family is amazing. And Paul, there's no better way for us to be able to thank you for your service than to provide you with this home. So on behalf of the Home Depot Foundation and Home Depot and Team Depot, who's been out here and will be back to finish sodding the lawn, we just want to say thank you for your service and welcome home.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I think of it, yeah, a couple quick notes. Yeah, we are gonna do the landscaping, it's just not weather permitting, right? You know, now the weather's turning. Also with the driveway, this is just the binder, you'll see, it'll be all level with the garage and the step here once they crank on the asphalt again. I'm gonna try to wrap this up as quickly as possible. One of, you know, the felony vandalism, that was a big thing. The Hanson Police Department, the Chief of Police, Lieutenant Casey, you guys were unbelievable. As soon as it happened, I got the phone call. 2 hours later, I got another phone call. They got leads, they got suspects. How fast you guys turned this around and how much you kept us in the loop was amazing. And I'm so glad you guys weren't in uniform when I was in high school, because I probably wouldn't have been. This was like an episode of CSI. It was unbelievable. You know, I was like, God, I got out just in time. Thank God Jared never visited me here. We both wouldn't be standing here. And what you're doing now, blocking off the streets, again, the community, all this project did was galvanize the community. It was unbelievable. One person I want to thank personally, during the construction of this build, the foundation, myself, Jared, we lost a dear friend, Kevin Joyce. Kevin Joyce was not only a donor to this foundation, he was a friend to this foundation, he was a friend to the both of us, he was a great man, and I want everybody to know how instrumental Kevin was in this home, because he was like a mentor to me, right? It was just difficult to kind of, I mean, I got you guys all fooled. I mean, you guys all know I fought in a cage for a living, got hit in the head, right? Everybody knows that? And that was,
They do now, Alex. Nice plug.
Kevin was so instrumental in helping out. And every time there was a question that I didn't have the answer to, or I wanted to run it by him with everything that came up in this house, he was there for me. So he was a big part of this project. He was here for the groundbreaking, and I just wanted everybody to know he's not here, but how important he is to us. With that being said, our team, Amanda and Betty, a lot of this work goes on behind the scenes. You guys have been fantastic. I can always count on you. You do what you say what you do. I can't ask for anything more than that. Now, Paul, would you like to, did she say you wanted to say a few words? You don't have to.
Your wife said you wanted to. You don't have to.
Thanks. The microphone's awesome. Real quick, before Jared freezes to death, I have no hair and he's cold. Real quick, thank you to the foundation, Alex, Jared, Betty, Amanda did incredible. The men and women of the Carpenters Union, our family, our friends, the town of Hanson, the Hanson Police and Fire Department. Thank you guys, this is incredible, and thank you.
I wish I had the time to thank everybody here individually, give everybody notice. Just know how important you are. Nothing you did fell on deaf ears, on blind eyes. We are forever grateful, and you've been amazing to work with. This has been, I'll be honest with you, this has been my favorite project that we've done. I've got a great relationship with all the veterans. Here's the difference. We meet the veteran and then we start the process. This was different because I knew Paul. You know, I knew Paul going into this, and when we had heard what had happened, and I called Jared and I was like, hey, a guy I went to high school with, he qualifies. And Jared was like, I'm like, we gotta do this. And Jared was like, just have somebody fill out an application and it's approved. You know, so like.
It's a rigorous process.
Yeah, right, yeah, we joke and we kid, but I'm very grateful for that. This is my hometown. This is important to me. This was Jared's brainchild. Jared and I have been friends for too long now. But you are very humble. You're a dear friend. You're my best friend. I'm so grateful that you allow me to take part of this. And you're humble, except for that like sad thing. That was pretty nice, but that was really awesome. That was really good. But honestly, what you do, it's not just your name on the foundation. Jared is very involved. This is near and dear to his heart, and it's an honor to work for you doing this. And that's it.
Sunshine. We're going to get off the mic. I just want to stand right here. I've been down in the south too long. It's just freezing. This is wicked cool. See, I told Paul, I said, this is like the best groundbreaking we've had so far. Believe it or not, 10 years ago when I started this, literally I think we had like 4 people at our first, well, I didn't think we didn't have a key ceremony. We had a contractor rip us off for like 20 grand, so I had to extort him for like 25 grand to get that back, and we threw the keys over. No, the growth of the foundation has been amazing. It's nothing that I've done or that we've done. It literally is, it's our supporters, and it's all of you here, and it's the quality of recipients that we have, and I can't say that enough. You know, I was telling someone earlier, you know, I don't argue that our sign is too big over there. There's a reason we don't have our signage everywhere. It's not about us. At no point is this about me. It's at no point about Alex. This is about Paul and Jen and the sacrifice you guys made to this country. And I cannot thank you enough. I have taken from this country more than most. I've been completely blessed. When I was 8 years old, I said I wanted to play pro football, and that's what I did.
Yeah, we don't.
And I didn't get to do that, you know, just on my own fruition, right? I got to do that because you volunteered and you defend the liberties that allow us to do what we want to do when we want to do them. And so for me, this is the best way I can say thank you. Again, I can't say it enough. I mean, look at the beautiful results. It touches my heart every single time. You know, the organization's grown to the masses that you see here, so I don't have to do as much, which is kind of nice at times. But days like this, it just reminds you of the beginning days when, trust me, the houses didn't look like this, you guys got hooked up. I didn't have enough money, I was writing checks out of my back pocket. You know? Awareness didn't spin well then either. So, again, I just come back to thank you, and thank you. And I can't, again, say enough. I will say this, though. Alex will admit it. This job was probably the most nerve-wracking job. When we got the call that we were in Paul's house and being back in his hometown, you know, how was he going to be received? How was the community going to support? You guys have touched his heart by the support, and you know, I play more of a therapist these days with Alex going through projects, and I'll never forget the call with the vandalism. How do we want to handle it? Because I know how he wanted to handle it. Let's go tune these dudes up. Like, I don't think you can physically assault children these days, but we'll work on the laws. And he was just so pissed because somebody in his community could do something like that to someone in his community. But to see the reaction and to see the support and every hiccup, the community came together. And that's what we want to get. And that's the essence of what this foundation is about. You know, there's a reason it's not houses for heroes or houses for whatever, it's homes. Because that's what your home is. Your home is your place you feel you're most secure at your most vulnerable time. Your home is your community. And so thank you guys, because that's what you have provided, not only for Alex, you reassured him where he grew up, because he's so proud. Boston, pops his car everywhere he goes. But you guys have reassured that American spirit it's alive and well, and you guys have truly brought Paul and Jen home to their community. So thank you, and God bless everybody. That's like a tame us.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Come on, get it, go! Councilor Carpenters. Good luck. God bless.
Thank you, sir.